Welcome everyone. This is Truck Talk Week 9 NFL Recap here with your man Rick Dolo and of course the one and only VIP over there. Thank y'all for staying tuned, coming back every week, rocking with us as we get y'all the recaps and the picks, of course. To get go ahead and get this week started, like I said, it's week 9. VIP, go ahead and take it over, man.
Yeah, man, we halfway there, halfway through the season, and we're
Mhm.
gonna go get ahead and get through this week, starting with the New York Jets and the Indianapolis Colts. The New York Jets had 30, Indianapolis Colts had 45. You picked the Jets, I picked the Colts. Uh, Naheem Hines and Jonathan Taylor combined for 246 yards on the ground. That was over half of the offense that they had. For
Mhm.
total yards. So them boys was the difference makers. And Jonathan Taylor had 2 touchdowns. Himes had 1 touchdown. What you got to say about the game?
Man, my boy White Mike got put out the game early, man. White Mike got put out the game. He got him a touchdown before he left in the first quarter. It looked like he was about to go ahead and go on in on them boys again. Your backup quarterback came out there and was doing this thing, man. I don't know what happened with the Jets in the past couple of weeks, but it looked like that offense has gotten the rolling. They still ain't got no defense though, so people scoring on them at will. So it ain't really doing too much good. But they do have offense now. Out of nowhere, like where are these guys coming from with this offense, man? They got receivers catching the balls. I mean, you got who was that? Josh Johnson came in, did 3 TDs. Then you got Elijah Moore. Their receiver had 2 TDs and he was balling out. I'm like, man, look at the Jets, man. Like I was proud of the Jets for doing what they was doing, even though Mike White ended up leaving the game. So, I mean, I like an underdog. I went ahead and went with the Jets. They had that win last week, so I went ahead and rocked with them. They took a L. I took a L. It's all good. You know.
Yeah, you did take that L. You took a L.
Hmm.
We
I
gonna
took
get
a
to
L.
the
That's all
many ways you took a L this week, but that's to come. That's to come. But yeah, the Jets did put up 30 points. They looked good in their loss, but they lost. So
good.
we'll move on to the next game. See what you got to say about these boys here. We got the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. We both picked the Saints, but the Falcons was able to pull it out 27-25 with a last minute field goal. What you got to say?
Man, some quarterbacks and teams just historically have a good record against certain other teams, regardless of what the statistics show or how they've been doing that season or who comes to that team and who leaves the team. Just, I mean, but Matt Ryan and the Falcons just always have New Orleans number. And I bet against that. We both bet against that, and we got burned once again. Matt Ryan, who I'm not a huge fan of, but he does every once in a while show up and does his thing. He came out there and he balled out. What? Matt Ryan had pretty good success: 23 or 30, 343 yards, 2 TDs, no turnovers. Patterson came in the game, 6 receptions, 126 yards. I mean, the boys were just balling out for no reason. And Patterson, he's a big, fast receiver, and he was really showing his presence in that game. So they really did their thing. The Saints, they didn't do their thing as much. Of course, Winston is injured, so that played a factor into it too. You had Simeon who came in his first start since 2019. So I mean, the Saints, they took that L. Their defense has been playing tremendously though. So I really felt like the defense would have put them over the top, but not this time. Saints went it. The Falcons went ahead and did it. 27-25, man, close game though.
And what you said about Cordell Patterson, that he is a beast. He plays both positions, running back and wide receiver. I have him on my fantasy team, and the fact that he can either play running back or wide receiver is perfect for me. I can throw him in when I need a running back. If a running back's out for a bye or injured or not playing well, if a receiver is out, I can throw him there. Man, man, I like that. And he really
Hmm.
does put up good numbers by himself. Even though the Falcons is having a down year. So yeah,
Yeah,
he is the beast. All right,
yeah.
so that's enough of them. We can go on to the next team. Oh man, the next game, the Denver Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sad to say, Big D took that L. We lost 30-16.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my God, this was just unbelievable. That we
yeah.
suck. That's just says it all. We
Uh,
suck.
it was
Um,
bad, man. It was
the
bad.
defense allowed too many rushing yards, allowed Denver to run all over us, and
Mm.
also our offense was non-existent. Like everybody was dropping balls. Dak was all. Uh, it just was. It, you talk about it. I can't say nothing.
It will be my pleasure to talk about how your Cowboys got beat down on. You know what I mean? Seeing as how my Bears, of course, been taking L's right and left, but that's a whole nother story. We're gonna get to that later. Uh, Cowboys, in their defense, actually, in the Cowboys' defense, uh, Elliott dealing with a sore hamstring. He injured that. He has that strained hamstring. Dak coming back off of an injury. So, just I mean, if you want to use that as an excuse, you can. 30-0 in at the beginning of the second half. Against the Denver Broncos was like, wow. You know what I mean? But Denver just played a solid game. I mean, Denver had what? 19, 28, 249, a touchdown for Teddy. Um, no turnovers. No turnovers for the Broncos in that game. They just came in. They played a solid game against a solid Cowboys team. Cowboys weren't really hitting on all cylinders, and you see that a lot of times. Look at what happened to the Packers this week. You know what I mean? You see that when those key players are not in their roles, it disrupts the whole chemistry of the teams. It seems like. And that's exactly what happened, man. That team was just, it wasn't hitting on all cylinders. Even though you got so many different stars and great players in different positions, man, they just, I mean, with their few players just kind of not rolling like they usually are, it affected the whole team, man. And, unfortunately, you had that type of a result. But I anticipate they'll bounce back pretty well, man. Hopefully, Elliott's injury won't be too rough on them, and they can go ahead and get back, rolling like what they usually are.
It needs to be something. It needs to be something. We can't. The Denver Broncos, they were 4-4. They were a mediocre team. We can't lose to mediocre teams if we're trying to make a championship run. That's just there's no excuse for
Hmm.
that. But we're gonna move on. We got the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The England Patriots just dominated this game, 24-6. I mean, Sam
Hmm.
Darnold threw 3 picks. I mean, that was just Belichick getting that defense like it used to be for that game. Granted, it was the Carolina Panthers, but
Hmm.
3 picks. Whew, what you got to say about the game?
Well, I mean, the Patriots really didn't play a great game. You know what I'm saying? They just played a little bit better. And they were just on the better end of some of those turnovers where they were able to capitalize on it. I mean, they didn't really have any amazing stats or anything like that. They just took advantage of the turnovers and they executed off of some of that short field position and got some, touchdowns, field goals, things like that. And it just like you said, man. What's up with Sam Donald? What's that? 11 picks on the year, I think it is. Yeah, Donald. Like, I don't even know if we'll see him in their next game. To be honest with you, they may just go ahead and go ahead and pull the next guy in uh, behind him instead of taking their chances with Donald because time and time again he has proven that he's not reliable. Thus far this season and in prior seasons as well. So stay tuned for that one. It's a quarterback saga over there in Carolina, man.
All right, all right. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens did pull this out with a 34-31 victory in overtime. Uh, this was like Family Matters. They was winning slow. It was a slow win. They came back from behind, and that man, you can't count him out. You cannot count him out.
Hmm.
Lamar Jackson brought this team back, put it on the shoulders, and was able to come out with the victory in overtime. What you got to say about it?
And the Ravens just a clutch team, man. Um, and it's unfortunate because with them being so clutch and so capable to execute when they want to, or when there's a sense of urgency, it's a shame that they won't do that in the beginning of games. Why have to always come back at the end of the games against mediocre teams? Most of the time, and then they'll play a better team and they'll beat the mess out of them. You know what I mean? They beat them like they stole something. But you play a mediocre team, and it's like they're lax until the third quarter. It's like, oh, yeah, we down 7 or 14 or 21. Let's go ahead and turn it up real quick, and make some highlights for Sports Center or something. You know what I mean? So it's just like I don't know. I don't know. But their level of intensity when they need it is pretty interesting. And you know how teams turn it up in the playoffs? I wonder if they'll be able to turn up that intensity once the playoffs come to really make a run. I think that's the biggest question right there. And of course, them staying healthy. Lamar Jackson, 120 rushing yards, 3 TDs, man. Dude seems invincible, but of course we know nobody's invincible. And with him constantly running the ball like that, hopefully he won't get injured or anything like that. He'll stay healthy. But they were able to pull it out, OT,
Yep.
but they were able to pull it out. And Cook doing this thing, 120 rushing yards, 17 attempts over there for Minnesota. Yeah, Cook ain't no joke over there, man. And the quarterback wasn't too bad either.
No comment. Moving on.
Yeah.
So we got the next game, the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. You pick Cleveland, I pick Cincinnati. Cleveland
Hmm.
won 41-16. We had
Hmm.
Joe Burrow with 2 picks. Joe Mixon, he was basically non-existent. He did what he could do. Uh, Cleveland, they get rid of Odell Beckham, but still Mayfield has all those receivers he's throwing to. I think he threw to 6 different receivers in that game. They were balling. They were balling without
Hmm.
Odell. They was like, we don't
Hmm.
need you, Odell. You're bringing our team
Hmm.
morale down. What you got to say about
Hmm. Hey man, you know how it is when you had those certain players. They bring a certain energy to the team, man, and it's astonishing to see that. But it happens time and time again, and you see when those players leave, the teams tend to be better off, man. Not only that, but the Browns are a little inconsistent. One week they show up, one week they don't, man. Baker Mayfield had a good game, and then you had Chubb, 137 yards rushing. I mean, come on, man. That dude was looking like a beast out there for this game. So, I mean, they played a solid game. I don't think they had any turnovers. While the Bengals had 2 interceptions by Joe Burrow, your boy. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but a good game nonetheless for the Browns. And what's that? 2 losses for the Bengals in the last 2 weeks. Uh, Hopefully they could turn that around and get it back going because they were actually looking good before those 2 losses, man. They were trending up, and then I don't know what happened. Something happened, but they hadn't been playing as well the past couple weeks. So hope they can turn that around.
it? All right. So we can move on to the next game. Uh, we have, oh wow, the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This was a surprise upset. We
Uh,
both picked Buffalo, but it was a 9-6 victory. Not too
yeah,
much went on this game. What you got to say
yeah.
about that upset?
A 9-6 victory for the Jaguars. I recall you saying about maybe a week or two ago that the Jaguars look like the worst team in the NFL. And the worst team in the NFL just beat one of the teams that a lot of people held as one of the better teams in the NFL. That's why this league is called the NFL, aka not for long. because teams don't stay on top for long, and other teams that are on the bottom, they get their act together. Not to say that the Jaguars got their act together, but they did this week, man, and they managed to pull one out. They played some pretty good defense, and that was really the key to them getting that win. They got a couple turnovers. Josh Allen had two interceptions, and he had a fumble, man. So I mean, he played a horrible game. He even said in the press conference, he's like, "I played like expletive," because they couldn't curse and all that type of stuff. No run game either for the Bills showed up in that game. So I mean, you're not passing well, you're not running well. I mean, like, not gonna win the game, and that was that.
I still stand by what I said. Jacksonville, to me, is still the worst team in the NFL right now. Um,
Hmm.
but hey, you know what they say: the sun always shines on the dogs behind one day. And so they got their light today. Uh, but still, they're the worst team in the NFL. The Jets play better than them. I'll put Miami and Carolina above them. I'll put the Aints above them, the Falcons. I'll put all those teams above the Jacksonville Jaguars and what they look like for the whole season. I stand by that. And this was just that game. I believe it was, and it goes along with something you said. Sometimes when you playing well, you look past the team, you look past the game. You see the Jacksonville Jaguars struggles that they had throughout the season. You see their record. You go into the game. Oh, we got this, fellas. Let's go in here and get this W and go home and get ready for next week. Well, no, this is still the NFL. These players all made it through college, and they were the most elite in college. So you still got to look at them and get prepared for them. So they came in so unprepared. It showed on the field. It showed in the film. It, it, it was just an off game for the Buffalo Bills, and if they want to make a championship run, they really got to tighten up. They really got to tighten up. But that's enough of that. We can go on to the next game. The next game we have the Houston Texans and the Miami Dolphins. We both picked Miami, and they took the victory 17-9. It's basically two losing teams. What you got to say about them?
I mean, like you said, two losing teams who played like two losing teams, man. They both played pretty bad games. It was a turnover-ridden game. Tyrod Taylor, three interceptions and a fumble. Dolphins, two interceptions and three fumbles. Like, golly. Like, I mean, it was like who's gonna do the worst? But even though the Dolphins actually had more turnovers, they still managed to pull out the game. So I guess they were the better of the two teams, and they showed that. And they were able to go ahead and pull it out. This one was just who was better of two bad teams, pretty much.
Hey, this is when you say may the worst team lose, and it's not the best team win. This is the worst team lose. That's all you can
Yeah.
say about this one.
I don't think I ever heard that one before, man. Man, the worst team lose. That's messed up right there, bro. Dang. Man, the worst team lose.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll move on to the next one. We got the Las Vegas Raiders against the New York Football Giants, and wow,
Mm-hmm.
we both picked we both picked Vegas, but they lost 16-23. The second half changed the momentum. Like the Raiders had the first half when they was coming out, they was playing good ball, but in the second half, the Giants came out and said, "We want to win this game." Uh, the Devontae Booker coming in for the injured Saquon Barkley. He
Mm-hmm.
ran well. He ran well. 99
Mm-hmm.
yards rushing. And the defense picked off Carr twice. So
Mm-hmm.
they made David Carr look terrible in this game, and they pulled
Mm-hmm.
out the victory. What you got to say about
Yeah, like you say, Carr got picked off twice. Then he had a fumble too on top of that. So I mean, they were just the Raiders played kind of a sloppy ball. Like the Giants came to play, the Raiders didn't. And the Giants, they did their thing, man. Just less mistakes, really. At the end of the day, a lot of times, when you got two teams and they're playing kind of similar, it's about who just comes in and executes the best and doesn't make many mistakes. And in this one, you had the Giants who just Did better, man. They executed their game plan better.
Yeah, yeah, they did. All right, so we'll move on to the next game. We have the Los Angeles Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles. We both picked the Chargers to win this game. The Chargers pulled it out 27-24. Uh, didn't think it would be so close, but the Chargers still pulled out the victory. The Eagles were able to execute a little bit of offense for them, but they just couldn't finish it up and win the game. What you got to say about
The Eagles are showing that they are. I think we thought they were, initially. They've been playing some pretty games and just showing that they able to play with the big dogs a little bit, man. Chargers a pretty solid team. So they're showing that they're a little bit better than just the lowest of the pack, but not quite up to that level with the Chargers. So, like you say, didn't really expect them to get that close to the Chargers. But, I mean, hey, Chargers, 32-38, 356 yards, 2 touchdowns for the QB over there. The run game was pretty solid. 12 attempts, 104 yards. No turnovers for either team was another solid one that shows you that, hey, these two teams came to play. The Eagles came in trying to upset the Chargers, man. They wanted that win and they went for it. And I mean, like you said, this is the NFL. Like, these are professional players. If they come in and they want it and they have a good game plan and they execute, that's when you see some of those teams that you may not think are that good. They come in and they upset some of these teams because they come in hungry and they want it. The Eagles wanted this one and they just came up a little short. But Jalen Harris, 11 to 14, 162 yards, nothing too great, but just no turnovers, a very clean game, and they had 130 yards rushing. Devontae Smith, solid game, 5 receptions, 116 yards, touchdown. Like, hey, Eagles came to play.
it? Yeah, and it's hard to deal with that uh, group of receivers over there with the Chargers. And you got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jared Cook,
Mhm.
who was all balling, and they helped Herbert get to that 356 yards that he had yesterday. So yeah, it's hard to deal with. It's hard to deal with. But
Mhm.
they put up a good fight, just couldn't finish it off. Uh,
Yeah.
and we'll move on to the next game. We have the Green Bay Packers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We both picked Green Bay.
Mhm.
We picked Green Bay
Yeah.
because we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to come to play, but he caught COVID and put in Jordan Love, and Jordan Love showed that this is Aaron Rodgers' team, and Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
uh, needs to be at the helm of the pack to get
Yeah.
them to win. Kansas City Chiefs, they did not look good at all. They still did. They still look terrible. They won 13-7, and they had time. Green Bay had time to come back. I believe if Aaron Rodgers was here, this would have been a no-brainer. Green Bay Packers over the Kansas City Chiefs. Um,
Yeah.
they missed two field goals. Was it two field goals or three field goals? It was two field goals. They missed two field
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah.
Um, they missed two field goals, and that's the difference of the game. If they make those two field goals, it's a tie game. And the
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs have to actually try to win the game instead of trying to just keep the lead. Uh,
Yeah.
so so like the difference in this game is Aaron Rodgers being out. What you got to say?
Yeah, and that's very true, man. And that's the difference between having a great or a good quarterback, in the game. When Aaron Rodgers is there, they play phenomenally. If Aaron Rodgers is not there, they play like a bottom of the barrel team. You know what I mean? And I mean, just their rhythm was off. They just everything was off, man. Their special teams was off. Only thing was on for Green Bay was the defense. Green Bay's defense has been playing some solid ball, and they continue to play solid ball this game. Love, he started off a little rough. I mean, this was his first start as an NFL career. Of course, you expect him to kind of start off a little rough. You know what I mean? But towards the end of the game, you saw him kind of, filling out a little bit. He didn't do anything great or spectacular, but it was like, okay, he started to get just a little bit more comfortable in the game. And, you know, it didn't look too bad. Maybe if Green Bay hadn't allowed their receiver on the kickoff allowed the ball to touch him and bounce, and for KC to recover it, then hey, they would have had, they probably would have another chance. They would have actually been up one. It been 7-6 ball game. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Just an ugly game, man. Ugly game.
That was close. That was close. He fell and hit his foot. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
that was close. But we'll move on. We'll move on to the next game. So we have the Arizona Cardinals against the San Francisco 49ers. We both picked the Cardinals. Um, they won 31-17 over the 49ers without without Kyler Murray. They were still able to pull out the victory over the 49ers. What you got to say about it?
Without Kyler Murray, without D Hop, without AJ Green, dude. Like you got three of your main guys missing, bruh, and you still win 31-17. Like it was amazing. Colt McCoy came in there like Superman, man. Dude had what 22, 26, 249 yards and a touchdown. Like as the backup, like you come in playing like that. With, like, dude, man, Connor had 100 yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? No, man, it was just like a spectacular thing to watch because you thinking like, man, the Cardinals ain't got like they most important key people. You know, I know that's gonna affect them, man. They didn't miss a beat, man. They didn't. They didn't miss a beat. I mean, granted, they were playing the 49ers, not the best team in the world, but it just shows you the level that the Cardinals are playing. No matter who they playing, no matter if they got people missing, like they coming to play. It's a confident ball team, and they not trying. They're not trying to lose. And Kyler Murray was out with a ankle sprain, and him, D Hop, and I believe AJ Green will all be back for the next game. And I want to say they're playing Carolina, so but they should be back.
All right, all right. We'll go ahead and move on to the next game. We have the Tennessee Titans and the Los Angeles Rams. I picked the Tennessee Titans and you picked the Rams. Titans won 28-16. Whew, without Derrick Henry, they was able to pull off the victory, and they used what, three or four backs to replace Derrick Henry. I mean, that goes to tell you how important that man is. What you got to say about the game?
Man, they activated Adrian Peterson Jackson. I was like, what? AP coming at a guy like that was my dude back in the day, man. That dude was, man. That was like he was leading the NFL at one point. So I'm like, AP, that was the dude, man. But shout out to AP, man. What's up, AP? You know, talking like I know him or something. But hey, still, what's up, AP? But it was good to see him in the game, man. To see a legend, future Hall of Famer in the game like that, man. We all know that that dude is a beast. It was his first game back, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future, man. Because I know Henry won't be back no time soon. But yeah, I was surprised. I really was. As you know, I picked the Rams on this one. I went against my better instinct. I was like, without Derrick Henry, ain't no way, because the Rams' offense is so potent. Their coach is an offensive genius, supposedly, over there for the Rams. And the Titans' defense, like that front four, the Titans, where did they come from, man? Like, I hadn't seen them balling like that. And all of a sudden, the front four for the Titans is just they didn't rip their jerseys off and like they looking like Incredible Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like just running through, getting sacks, disrupting plays. Getting good field position. Because I mean, really, the Titans didn't do much. You know what I mean? Like Tannehill didn't do much. All they did was took advantage of good field position and executed. And that was that, man. I was shocked. I was shocked that the Rams could not get their offense going. And if I was the Rams, I would be nervous. At week 9, You cannot get your offense going after you have traded for a grade A quarterback and stacked your team, and you cannot get your offense going against a very weak secondary at that. Because the Titans secondary is weak. And you know what? I'm gonna put this out here. NFL. NFL coaches, throw the deep ball. Throw the deep ball. I'm sick of y'all dinking and dumping. You know, throw the deep ball. Y'all playing. Throw the deep ball more often. I don't care if you throw it 2, 3 plays out the series for a couple series throughout the game. Throw the deep ball. It's gonna open your game up. Instead of doing 2, 3 plays with the dinking and dunking and turning the ball over, do 2, 3 plays with the deep ball. Give your guy. I mean, even if you miss, it's just like a punt. If it get intercepted, it's just like a punt. Throw the deep ball. All right, man. What's the next game?
Sound like you had that on your chest for a while.
Man, I did, man. I did.
All right, so we're going to go to the final game of the week, the Monday night game. Whew. You feel all right? You ready to talk about this? Go ahead and take that deep breath. Go ahead and take that deep breath, bro.
I
We
did,
have the
man. I got it out.
Chicago Bears and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben and those Steelers. You pick your hometown team, the shot. I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And with me picking the Pittsburgh Steelers, you picking the Bears, I came up 3 games to your 1 game, different than you, and the win. So it puts us at a tie for the whole 9. But for the week, I got you by 3, by 2 games. But to talk about the game, Chicago Bears lost 27-29. What you got to say about those Bears? I will say, they were playing pretty good. I mean, they did play pretty good to come back and get this within 2 points. Because from what I saw, they were getting killed in the beginning, but they were able to come back and do some things, but they couldn't pull it off. What you got to say about your boys?
Man, throw the deep ball. That's what I got to say. The same thing I just said. Throw the deep ball, man. Like you got a home run hitter. Stop making a home run hitter bunt the ball. He's a home run hitter. Why you gonna make him bunt it? You know what I'm saying? Let him swing for the fences, man. The dude is accurate. The dude can throw it. He got an arm. Let him throw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I got to say. And then on top of that, Montgomery came back. So that was good. It was good to see Montgomery back in the game, balling, doing his thing. The Bears did have a better second half. Laser calling plays from up in the booth. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to kind of settle in. Justin Fields is. Like as far as trying to run the offense and stuff. I mean, he's still having his difficulties and things. And of course, they was playing the Steelers, but the Steelers have pretty good defense. So, I give him his props on that in the second half. First half looked terrible. He looked absolutely terrible in the first half. And I'm tell you, a big part of the problem is they will not let him loose. Let that man throw that ball, man. Let him throw it down the field. I was a little concerned about Justin Fields' vision though on the field because I was noticing at certain times, especially over the center of the field, like he was holding on to that ball too long. Like we're trying to hit them receivers over the center of that field. Like it was a few times I'm like, let it go, and he waiting. One time a defender got his hand on the ball because he waited too long. You know what I'm saying? I saw another time where he was able to get it in there, but you waiting too long, man. Soon as that receiver coming up off of that break, like you see he got the step on that defender. Put that ball where only that receiver can get it. He has the placement to be able to do that. So I expect for him, as he continues to mature as a quarterback, for him to be able to anticipate those routes a little bit better. As his chemistry with those receivers comes up, you know, it should definitely improve.
I don't want to take away from what you're saying. It's fun as fans for us to see that deep ball. But I will say this, you know, the Steelers weren't uh, naive to that. I believe the part of the reasons he was pulling that ball down is because Kirkpatrick and the safety, in that safety position, was trying to bait him into throwing that ball. He was playing off and then backing up to make sure he covered the deep receiver. And I know they went back and reviewed one play I saw, and it was a deep post, and he filled the void. He covered the tight end, make sure you couldn't throw to the tight end, and then fell back to cover the receiver on the deep post to make sure that he got the deepest man on the field. So I can't say that it's Justin Fields not seeing it, and maybe he's ready to throw it and not going through all his progressions because he's worried about that safety back there. But to your point, we want to see that deep ball. We want to see you launch it down the field. So let's see it more NFL.
Yeah,
That's all I got to
yeah.
say. That
It
concludes
wasn't
our week.
I wasn't blaming it on Justin Fields. Hold on, let me get a word in. Let me get a word in. I wasn't blaming on Justin Fields though. I would like to see them incorporate the deep ball more into his repertoire. Is what I was saying. I'm not saying it's Justin Fields' fault. I just feel like they babying him too much. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you got an all-star quarterback who can make those types of plays and well, a future all-star quarterback. Let me correct myself. You know what I'm saying? Who can make those types of plays, you know? And I feel like also if they go ahead and start incorporating that deep ball more so, hey, on first or second down, throw the deep ball sometimes early in the game. You know what I'm saying? Give them an opportunity to get ahead instead of always playing from behind or just neck and neck. You know what I'm saying? Let him throw the deep ball. Let him get his confidence going early in the game. You see what I'm saying? So that way, you know, he could get his juices flowing, man. You gotta get him out. All right, I'm done. I'm done, man. I'm done. I ain't got nothing else. Hold on, one more. No, I'm done. I'm done.
That's that passion for them Bears. All
Yes, sir.
right, all right. That concludes another week from Truck Talks. This was your week 9 review of the picks we had. Go ahead and tell them how they need to share it, bro.
Oh, by the way, tell your grandmama, your auntie, your deacon, your baby mama, cousin, uncle, nephew, brother-in-law, second cousin, goddaddy on your mama side. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you let everybody know about the truck talk. You know what I'm saying? Because we got them picks and we got them recaps. Come here for all your football needs. And we're gonna have other things coming for you in the future, just like I told you. So we looking forward to seeing y'all. And hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. I'm Rick Dolo. That there is VIP. And we're gonna holler at you later. Peace.